So here we go. This is the first meeting of our Southwest Regional. And the first thing I wanted to do was go over some announcements. And one of the things that,
Hey, Tracy.
yes,
Scott, I just heard from Scott. He says he's still into the training course, but will jump in once finished up.
sounds great. Super. And tell them we're recording it, so not to worry.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are asking us to keep checking that 2021 spreadsheet for trade shows. And I did pop on there, which is a good thing that they remind us, because apparently if they're not going to put it on our calendars, we've got to keep checking the spreadsheet. And it looks like, Tamara, you're really the only one who has any soon. Oh, let me open this up so you can see.
Now that's old.
Okay, so
that was last week.
Okay, so you already did that one. And the next one for you is in April. So we'll see if they add any in there. But if you all can, when we come and we do these announcements, if you've checked it and you've noticed, Jeff has a meeting coming up or Bethany has a meeting coming up, let's try to always remember to bring that up in the meeting, because it could be that maybe we forgot to check it and it would be really embarrassing to miss a trade show. So let's try to remind each other.
Good idea.
Yeah, let's remind each other. And at some point, Tamara, especially since we've got new folks, that, to give us an idea how the trade show went, what did you learn? Was it a good show, a bad show? Just kind of a little blip, before we end today. Because that trade shows are the best way that we get new leads, and we want to be able to do them well. And it's been weird having these virtual ones. So we're going to need some guidance, because I haven't even done a virtual trade show yet. And maybe y'all have, but so I'm going to need help guiding some of the new folks into these virtual ones, because it's very odd to me not doing it in person. Okay, so back to the announcements. And Scott, I see you joined. I know this is all new. It's like everything coming at you so fast, and I didn't want to interrupt your training, but and I am recording this, so you didn't miss anything. And I'm going to pop back over and see if Melissa's still typing our other members' phone number. Nope, still not there. Okay, so we're going over some announcements here. No high attendance. Yay. I mean, I don't know if any of you were attached to high attendance, but it is no longer with us. All I can say about that is it never worked. So no love lost there. And then Alex is creating lead generation forms, and he's going to launch that in a training. So no referral program at this time. I don't know if any of you have been talking to clients about a referral program. If there's a problem, I have a problem. I had a gal who trains health coaches, and she joined for the referral program. So I've got to deal with that. So if you've got anybody that is going to be really upset about that, let me know. We'll talk about it when we kind of do our one-on-ones. It says here, Amanda will be adding the list for the CGR registrants. So we just had a CGR on Friday on the TGR. So we will get those people that registered for that and be able to follow up. If you haven't heard, the TGR kits do not qualify for free shipping unless there's 24 TGR kits. Big manula to get free shipping. And I think you're saving like $10 or $15. Yeah.
One thing is, particularly for California, I mean, I'm not pointing fingers at Amanda, but I think, Tamara, you might remember, but recently we got a list to go through, and it was all the California zip codes on one page. So we literally, and it's not like it's that big of a deal, but I think some people, they still look at California as just like one state and like here's all the zip codes for you guys, go through them. And it'd be one day it'd be cool, maybe with new software, like when they did like, oh, those are like when the home office even knows the difference between, I mean, I guess that's kind of a dumb thing to even say. I don't even know what I'm even talking about now.
Well,
I think it was just
I
more
feel you, Jeff.
that, yeah.
I'm in
It was
the same
annoying.
boat.
I will agree. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Was that it, Tamara? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was kind of a lot of work. You had to go
Yeah.
through and figure out which ones were yours and weed them out. And yeah, it took time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no big deal. But I was just thinking about that. Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
What we're going to do is start a spreadsheet. In fact, let me do it right now. Because we need to get on the table all of the stuff we're dealing with that we've gone through the proper channels, Google Sheets. We've gone through the proper channels and it's not getting resolved. So I will put all of you on this. What should we call it? Issues? Issues for right now until you think of a better,
What do you think, Tamara?
what's that, Jeff?
Maybe items to be addressed, Tracy.
Okay, items. We'll keep it always positive, to be addressed. Okay, and then we'll put a header up there, if it's zip code separation.
Yeah, something like, and again, it's totally no big deal at all. I don't even know why I even brought it up. I was just thinking out loud.
No, that's good, but we want to put.
No, you're right though, Jeff, and especially for new people, it's gonna be hard.
Mhm. Yeah, and then, let me know. Okay, so right now you gave it to Tracy. But if you've been dealing with something like taxes or whatever, let me know what step you took, followed SOP, turned it into Shauna. Here's the result. If it's not getting resolved and you've hit a wall, get it on this list so that I can figure out a way to address it, or we can brainstorm and figure out a way to deal with it. Okay, so this, I'll put everybody on this. So that's how we're going to deal with issues and things to be addressed. Be patient this week. We're going through updates and KPIs. And that was a text I received. If your territory is not working properly, as in it's not, you were supposed to have it divided certain way, or if you're new and you're not able to log on, know that they're working on it as we speak. So, and it'll keep shifting for a while till everything settles down. Okay, I'm gonna pop over.
Tracy, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Do you know if there's ever going to be a time where we're going to be able to count on any numbers in Salesforce? That quota or the revenue number on the dashboard when you first pull it up. They took the distributor revenue out of there. And then you have to scroll down to the bottom to see a number that includes the distributors, but it says you can't use it for quota. Are we ever going to have a number that we can count on?
Okay, putting it on the items to be addressed. Again, these shifting sands. So we'll nail it down. Okay, so as these things pop up, let's just keep filling it out. And, this is what I'll be hammering away at, what I'll be bringing up in the managers' meetings. And we got to keep shaking the trees. If this, we're not squeaky wheels, we're not going to get answers. So we got to handle it. Okay, so I think that was all of the announcements. And what I want to do is jump into a presentation real quick and just to try to get some cohesion, just to get everybody on the same page, kind of marching in the same direction. And I'm calling this how to form a unit. Okay, so we have to figure out how to get in like a lockstep unison focus. and, you know, find a cadence that works. So we are walking this road together. And I'm using the word cadence. Yes, there is a double meaning. We're going to be starting Sales Loft, and it's all about cadences. It's about workflow and finding out the most efficient way to get our jobs done. And what's really important as our unit, you know, yes, we have friends throughout the company. Yes, we've have bonds and relationships, but this team is, in our unit, we've got to be loyal to. You know, we never leave a team member behind. If somebody is struggling, we are going to figure out how to help them. And we never leave a team member exposed. So we want to be, you know, careful about revealing the vulnerabilities of our team members, because that makes our team vulnerable. So we're going to list all of these issues to be addressed, these items to be addressed, and we're going to divide and conquer the responsibilities of keeping this unit strong. And this is a team. Yes, I'm going to try to navigate it, but you know, what we have to do is stay on target. You know, that the navigation, what direction we're going, are we on point? We have to all be on the same page, and that's communication. And Tom has come in with a sales process, and that's the language that we have to learn. And that way we can speak his language and you know, fulfill the requirements. Hey, Scott, good to see you. I'll turn my camera back on. I was hiding out because the Zooms hurt my eyes after a bit. So say, everybody, wave to Scott. Hey there.
Gotcha. Hi, everybody.
Thank you, Scott.
And then we have some time. We're going to do some
Welcome, Scott.
we're going to do some individual sharing. And I know the delay in my Zoom is really irritating, so I apologize for that up front. Okay, so back to the third is identifying and solving problems. That's what we were just working on. You know, that's the strategy, you know, the strategic maneuvers, and then optimizing our skill sets. That's our tactical. And yes, I just, when I was putting this together, everything military did come to mind. And for us, it's going to be, you know, Semper Fi. You know, we've got to pull this together. We've got huge challenges ahead of us. But the good news is we work well when we've got high expectations. And I don't know a time in my life I wasn't fighting Goliath. So don't worry, be calm. You're in good company. We're going to do this. Okay, and get it to change the next slide.
I'm in.
Yay. Okay, so navigation, staying on target. Here's the priorities. We do focus on our personal revenue goals. If you have a revenue activity, you have something that's going to add to your bottom line, that's the first priority. I'm going to always try to record the meetings so that you won't miss out. I'm available to you to help you catch up, but you do the revenue activity first. That's the priority. What's making you money is what you do first. You do, and you make the money through doing Zooms and personal meetings. So high priority. And you do the Zooms and personal meetings by setting the meetings and prospecting the calls. So that's your job. That's what you do. The other things, we participate in BiomFX, TGR, and meeting contests, and we participate in Sales Loft and Salesforce and training. We participate in learning and development, and we participate in whatever else is going on in the company, cognitive behavior, exercise competitions, whatever. But we do the top three. So I hope you're reading between the lines in that don't get, you know, distracted. So we have to stay on point. If Sales Loft or Salesforce or something goes down, you know, keep those meetings going, keep those contacts going. And we can always record it in there later. That's That's the second priority. It's keeping the momentum in your territory. Okay, communication, staying on the same page. Again, Tom's sales process to learn to speak the same language. And if you've kind of read through it, I condensed it like this. This is how I remember it. You know, I have to always put things to the alphabet or to a song to memorize it. And, you know, C is his commitment objective. D is your demoing, your self-leverage. E, I put exponential growth of company. That's what I add urgency to the conversation. And how I bring up the company is that this train is moving fast. You need to jump aboard. And then F is the features and benefits of the products and services. And then OR, you ask about the order, and then you reschedule the appointment. So this is how I memorized it. If that helps you, you're welcome to use this. But as we're talking in these terms, again, it keeps us on point. And then the communication, you know, I'm always going to bring what announcements, what updates, what's news, what launches, what campaigns, and I'll do that through text if I just forward those on, or let you know as soon as I know, or bring it to you in the Monday meeting. The strategy, identifying and solving problems. You know, we got to assess what's going on, post all these issues on the spreadsheet, which we've started. Ask me first if you don't know the SOP or what form to fill out. If you do know, CC me on it. So if you're communicating with whoever, you know, just keep me in the loop. You don't have to go through me if you know what you're supposed to do, but keep me in the loop so I can CYA you. Okay? Brainstorm with the group and we'll figure out a workaround. You know, I know you are incredibly talented, intelligent, adaptive individuals, and we can work together to figure it out. Tactical, optimizing the skill set. And this we're going to talk about the 3 seasoned reps received a PowerPoint from me, this individual, and we'll talk about that, but it focuses on these. How are you interesting your customers or potential customers? How do you know what to educate your customers about? How do you educate customers ready to buy or now or later? And how do you determine if customers are ready to buy now or later? How can I help? Someone may have purchased something from me once, you know, so I might have a little bit of experience as far as sales. But what I hope what you don't know about me will be how I can help more. I was a cheerleader once. I mean, so I actually have a cheer. We have spirit. Yes, we do. We have spirit more than, you know, you can fill in the blank, because I think that's going to be the key. You know, we need to figure out, you know, what drives us, what's the spirit of our union, of our unit. Okay. I was a weight trainer and an aerobics instructor. So what the point of that is it's important to find your pain areas. It's important to find where you know, what stresses you. And I'm going to coach you to just push a little bit past that, because if you push past your pain point into a little agony, then we go back to pain and it's a relief. You know, and it comes back to, you keep doing something that intimidates you over and over again, it becomes second nature and it's no big deal. The key is creating a safe space to do that with, a place that it's okay that you fail. It's okay that you screw up, because we're working on it. We're working together, and there's no fear and intimidation. And you know, to be a transformer, you know, and that I have actually led a sales team before, and it was a great experience. And we were able to transform their sales. So I have walked this road before, and I have learned that it really comes down to finding your personal power in yourself. and gaining the confidence that people are attracted to confidence, strength, and joy. So you find it in yourself, and then people want more of you. They want your time. They want your expertise. They start coming to you. So that's what we want to create. And it's really about, building yourself first, and then sales just comes naturally. Okay, so transformation is really finding out what's worth fighting for in yourself, flexing your personal power muscle to conquer personal obstacles. People are attracted to confidence, strength, and joy. Like I said, the fundamentals: think on these things that are lovely, pure, honorable, and right, and avoid negativity, junk food, energy vampires. You fill in the blanks. Be thankful for the scars. Without them, I wouldn't know your heart. And if you don't recognize those lyrics, that's a song, and it means a lot to me. And I'll use my recent example. I have a deep scar from losing a husband, but I wear that scar like a badge of courage, because it wouldn't be a deep scar unless if I wouldn't have loved him completely. And I'm proud of that. So wear your scars like a badge of courage. Your past experiences, the things that devastated you, the things that hurt you, the things that gave you nightmares, have made you stronger. And yes, those scars are your badges of courage. So they have made you who you are today. So wear them proudly. For some reason it's not advancing. Good. Okay, and
That
that's
was awesome, Tracy. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So that's it. I don't know why it's now going by itself, but I'm going to exit that. I know me and technology, it's not my strongest suit. Okay, so I'm going to now go into and Scott, I'm going to make one of these for you too. My focus up to now has been on my customers. Now you are my focus, and I am going to study you like I study my customers. Figure out what makes you tick. Figure out what makes you successful. Jeff doesn't know it. He already started this though. So the first is how does Jeff interest his customers or his potential customers? So, here's a little blurb, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It just needs to get their attention and dangle a carrot that makes them want to talk to Jeff. So he put this together. And then there's some things I want to add is, what are the questions? Once you've got them in the Zoom, what questions do you want to know about them, so you know how to target your education? So I've got questions for everybody there to find out, it's different for everybody. And then, this is, Jeff goes into the education. You always want to have a canned education ready. If they are brand new and they don't know what to say, they don't know anything about Megaspore, then you got to have something ready to present to them, and lead in, with what you think is the most important. And and ask them questions if they're following you, and then find out what part of that was important to them. What did they resonate with? Okay. And then, the other more questions: how does Jeff determine the customer's ready to buy? What questions is he using to feel them out? That, because quite frankly, you can offend someone if they're ready to buy. You need to find out if they're just waiting for you to say, let's get this on the road. Sometimes one of the things that encourages them is when you tell them there's 7 to 10 days shipping, they realize they can't dilly-dally around. Okay. And then, what I would like we all know the story is important. So what's your personal story? And eventually we're going to take these PowerPoints and we're going to present them to each other. So get your story down. I have many versions of my story, the long, the medium, and the short one. You know, your elevator one, your coffee one, and your presentation one, you know, that you've got hours, you know, to let people know what you're about. And then, you know, help me out. Let's get a little personal. What do you think is funny? What relaxes you? What frightens you?
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm gonna have to jump off of this call. I gotta get back to the training course. It was nice to meet you all.
No
Take care,
problem.
Scott.
Good luck. Take care.
Nice to
See
meet
you
you.
later.
You too.
And then what's your
Is Scott in?
profession? What's that, Jeff?
Sorry. Is Scott in LA or Chris's territory?
LA.
Okay, cool.
And then yeah,
Thank you.
what's your professional power statement? What's your personal power statement? We'll talk more about that. And then what affirms you? You know, what makes you feel valued, special, appreciated? You know, we all have different love language. You know, what floats your boat. Okay, so that's kind of how I'm gonna get to know you. Some of you I know pretty good. Tamara, we need to spend some time together, girl. I need to get to know you. So this is one of the ways to kind of break the ice and get into it. And then the other thing I want to talk about is, how do you want to do these meetings? It's not going to be me monologuing. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, we can, you know, again, we know some things we need to do to keep the unit on target. I can bring, you know, some of the navigation things, what's a company doing, what's coming down the pike, when are the contests starting, you know, what new policies, you know, I can bring that, and I can advocate for you when there's stuff that's not getting handled properly. But on these other things, you know, where do you see you can bring a contribution? Is it in, you know, helping with the communication, you know, working on the sales strategy? You know, can we share experiences of good and bad? You know, recently Tamara had from what I hear, a great experience. How did you put that BiomFX presentation together? How did you get 9 doctors to sit and listen to it? What was intimidating you? What were you thinking about? You know, put it to us so that we can share in that experience. So we want to spend some time, you know, after I'm done talking here, to yeah, you know, Tamara, you had that great experience, and then you've been doing some of these virtual. So we'll have those conversations after we finish this. But it's, you know, picking up these areas, and I don't know if we want to rotate who runs the meetings. I need your feedback to know how you can get the most out of these. How can we help each other, push each other, challenge each other, and then we'll reap the rewards together. So, okay, so I'm done talking now. Let's find out. Tamara, why don't you go ahead and go on into that recent Zoom call and kind of lay it out, and let us know how it happened.
Okay, well, it was 9 docs in one practice. So I don't want you to think that I was going around town soliciting tons of different doctors. So this is a naturopathic practice with 2 locations in the greater Sacramento area. And they've been a pretty big Megaspore only user for, I don't even really, I'd have to look back to see how long they've been using it, but I've been trying since day one, since last March, to get in there, and had just a lot of resistance. I just felt like the practice was so busy figuring how to pivot, you know, how to run their business. Their practice manager lives on the East Coast, so that's kind of weird. And so, you know, they were really resistant to me. It was difficult getting through the gatekeeper. And I've walked into both locations on multiple occasions. They have a wall of supplements from floor to ceiling. It's massive. It's intimidating. And I was persistent. So I finally got with the practice manager a few months ago, and she told me that they were trying to consolidate a lot of their products. They have too many already. And so we decided that the docs might be most interested in BiomFX. So I thought, oh, all right, let's do that. And then the communication died. I don't know. Very, very difficult to communicate with these people. So I finally nailed them down to a virtual lunch. I catered the lunch. It was so much work trying to figure out how to get food over there to 2 places. I don't know the area very well. Like where am I going to get the food from? That was crazy. So I think the food was actually what inspired all of these docs to get on at once. So we had Zooms going in 2 locations. All the docs were on. And I put together, it's quite an impressive presentation, if I do say so myself. So I can't take full credit for it because I use Karan's. I don't know how, somewhere along the way, I got a hold of Karan's, one of Karan's BiomFX presentations, and I made it my own. And I practiced it, and I studied BiomFX like nobody's business for 2 days prior. I read everything I could get my hands on, so I was prepared. I wanted to be professional. I wanted to sound like I knew what I was talking about. And I didn't sleep the night before, but it went really well. And so I felt really confident about my presentation. I got really good questions from the docs. They seemed to be engaged. And that's my story.
Wow, that's
Wow.
great. It's exciting to get the
That's awesome.
backstory.
Good job.
Yeah, I love this product, and I had heard there's a lot of talk about this practice. I think it's the biggest naturopathic practice in the one of them anyways, in the greater Sacramento area. And I have a couple of accounts that are actually patients there. And one of them wanted to run BiomFX on herself. Now she knew she could order it through her own account, but she wanted the doc to order it for her. So she went in there with the sample report, and the doc said, and this is during the time I'm like beating their doors down trying to get the meeting. And the doc said to her, oh, this isn't comprehensive enough. And I'm like, what? I mean, that made no sense to me. And it just told me that the doc has no idea what she's talking about. She didn't want to look stupid in front of her patient. She doesn't know the test. So I knocked on the door even harder. And I thought, there's too much potential here. These docs don't know what they're talking about, don't have time to do the education on their own. So that was what really sparked the fire under my butt to get in there. And yeah, so I'm really happy with the way it went. We'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully something happens.
Now, was the doctor
Wow, that's
that
awesome.
said it wasn't comprehensive enough was part of that 9? And did that doctor respond and have good questions? Did they get on board?
She was there. All the docs from the practice, every single one of them was on the call. So I don't believe she asked questions. There was a couple of Zooms that were cameras off. And I know that there were 2 or 3 docs on that particular computer on that camera. So, and questions were coming in, but I don't know who was asking them. I don't think she did. There was a couple of others asking questions. So I hope that my presentation was comprehensive enough. So that's why I didn't get everybody asking questions, but there were some, and they, a lot of them, the ones that had their cameras on, were engaged. They were watching, they were paying attention. So yeah.
Just
Hey,
knowing
Tamara, did you buy food for everybody? Or others?
A lot of these places, when you cater, they have minimums, right? So the minimum amount was 8. I believe the salad that I bought fed 8, and there was 4 docks at one and 5 docks at another location. So enough food went for probably the admin staff too. It's just that during COVID, maybe in general, I don't have a lot of experience catering, but they have minimums, right? The amount they'll feed. So it cost me about $140.
That's not bad at all.
Oh, that's very reasonable on
Yeah,
the
it
price.
was.
I mean, I spent a lot, unfortunately, I spent a lot of time researching who I was going to use, because
Mhm.
you know, they want it gluten-free, they want it dairy-free, and then you have to
Yeah.
have maybe there's
Speaking of which,
vegetarians, and then so it was crazy. So the whole, you know, Whole Foods is usually my go-to, but Whole Foods doesn't deliver. So if I not during COVID anyway. So Whole Foods I go to when I'm picking it up, like on Wednesday, I'm doing that. I'm picking it up and taking it there. But it's a lot of, until you get familiar with, my territory is enormous and I don't know restaurants in all of these areas. So
yeah, and guys, if you ever need any help at all with catering stuff, I've catered for over 20 years. So I'm always more than happy. Like even for myself, a lot of times I'll even do Uber Eats, like if somebody's in Tucson and I don't want to drive, so I'll deliver them lunch and then, you know, just hop on a Zoom with them, stuff like that. But I'm
Yeah.
always super happy to help people figure out something that's, you know, economic and convenient.
thank you.
Bethany, I think
Thank
that
you.
would be
Yeah,
so.
I usually, no, I pretty much tell the office I need their help. You know, they need to help me set it up. Just because I can't help everyone's diet restrictions and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, Tamara, I would kind of, I know I couldn't do that. It's so stressful to try to think of food and everything when they're not even in our town. I don't know. So I always just say, I really need your help, to where almost like they call in the order. You know, I know that means you don't have control of the order, but yeah. So that sounds really awesome. You did a lot of work. Good job, Tamara.
Thank
Really
you.
good.
Yeah, you know, it's whatever works for anybody. That's what I did. I didn't want to bother them. It took me so long to get this meeting that
Yeah.
I wanted just to take care. You know, I didn't want them to have to think that I was not willing to do the work. So I guess it just depends.
Yeah. No, good job.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, if we could find a national caterer, maybe Uber Eats is the way to go. Sometimes I have told the account, hey, you know, I've got a $200 budget. You know, I kind of see how many people there are to feed. And if it's, you know, if there was a scale, you know, if we've got, you know, 10 people, 20 people, you know, you had 9. I mean, I have some clients that they want all of their entire staff. So they're like 50, 60 people, you know, so if we have a sliding scale and approximately how much we can spend per how many people, and just say, you know, here's my budget, you know, for that many people that you have, I can spend, you know, 100, 200, you know, whatever. We've got what, 500 a month. If it's a great account like that, and they blow our budget for that month, well, you know, if Tamara starts getting orders from them, it'll be worth it. So, you know, it might be a way to streamline this a little bit, because I'm with you. I have had some horrendous catering experiences, and I don't want to go down that road. That our time, we are not caterers. We need to figure out how to make it easier to, you know, get into those big whales without, you know, hurting ourselves physically and mentally. So yeah, that would be great. So any pointers that you have for us, Bethany, that would be great. If we can streamline it, give them a scale, give them a budget, and then call one place, maybe have them do their order under their budget, and then we just give our credit card to whoever's gonna, yeah, so anyway, Bethany's popped off, so that's fine. The other thing,
Yeah,
Tamara, that I wanted to ask you about are these virtual meetings. Are you finding them easier? You've had a few. Any words of wisdom you can give us?
Well, I've never done an in-person trade show because, I started I started this job right at the beginning of COVID last year. So I've only actually done two. The one that happened last week was not really a trade show. That was, I did a 10-minute presentation and I pre-recorded it. So it wasn't a trade show. It was other type of event. And then we sponsored the event and they just wanted a 10-minute, I did a TGR presentation, like super, super abbreviated, and I pre-recorded that. So I didn't have any function during the event, but I did the, I don't remember if it was IFM last year or if it was, and then I did a dermatology one. So there's a virtual booth and you, during usually times throughout the day, they're usually the dermatology one I did was a week long. And there were certain times of the day where the attendees had scheduled time to visit the booths. And so you had to be present on camera, like Zoom open for those times. And they were usually a half hour or, times throughout the day where you had to be Zoom on and people would pop into the Zoom. So I did one like that where people would pop in and out of the Zoom. And then I did one where it was just there wasn't a camera, there was just people would pop in, you could see them come in and you just type to them and say hello and can I answer any questions. So I've done those two types.
Super. Jeff, have you done a virtual meeting?
Yeah, I did. And I think I did a couple of them, but they were like super unattended, really no revenue even created. Was sitting in the chat room for hours and people not even coming in. So I would say they were kind of total flops, to be honest. And there was one that Tom spoke at, and it drove no business at all because he couldn't talk Megaspore. He was talking about endotoxemia. And so Tom was curious, like, hey, let me know how many people buy. There were 150 people on the call, and like we sold nothing. And like no one even came into the virtual booth. So it was just super, super, yeah. So, yeah. So let's hope that they get better or whatever. But yeah. Hey, Tamara, I wanted to ask you, when you did that TGR presentation, did you use like PowerPoint slides or just?
I was very, very fortunate because L&D helped me. And this is a very sore subject and I'm not going to go into why. I like the way the company Microbiome Labs handled the whole thing. There's a big backstory. I'm happy to share it with you off of this call. But what it came down to was it ended up 10 minutes. I think we paid a lot of money to be a sponsor of this event. They gave us 10 minutes. And I had the choice of being live or virtual. Live or pre-recorded. And I had planned on being live, but L&D suggested just doing it pre-recorded. And they actually helped me with the slides. So I got on a call with Kat and Lacey and they gave me what they suggested and we had a dialogue about it. And then Kat gave me some slides and then I made them my own. And I put together a script and I cleared it with Kat and she said it was good. And so that's how it all came about. But I did have help on that.
Okay. Wow. Good job. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
That was super stressful. It took me hours to record that thing. Maybe it would have been better to do 10 minutes live because in such a short amount of time, I can talk, we all can. We can ramble on for days, right? And I wanted to make sure I could be concise and hit my points, and I couldn't afford to go over. So it just turned out that pre-recorded was better than having a script.
Okay.
Super.
Good.
Okay. So for next week, what we'll plan on is I would like to individually work with everyone through this week on that little slideshow of yourselves, going through those questions primarily, really focused on what questions. Because I think when you do your ride along, and I want to get Bethany to, she's already had a ride along with Tom, and she's the only one out of all of us. So I wanted her to talk about the ride along. But I can tell you, I know he is focused on the questions. So I want to practice among ourselves, and so that we're feeling good about it and could go in there with our best foot forward. So let's focus on those questions. Let's and Tamara, I know we're meeting at 11 today. So do what you can, but we'll talk about it more. And then Jeff, if we can schedule a time sometime during this week, and then if you can plan to present your slideshow next Monday, just flip through it and just sell yourself to us, and we'll give you some feedback. And then we'll see how many we can do on Monday, if anybody else is ready. And but I'll try to get you in before you ride with Tom. I think, Jeff, you said you don't have anything scheduled with Tom, or maybe it's at the end of this month. Tamara, do you know when your ride along is with him?
Yep, it's on the 17th, and I have no meetings scheduled. I can't get any meetings for that day yet. Hopefully that will change, but I can't get any meetings for that day. So what may happen if I can't get meetings for that day, I may have to have him ride with me a different day, on the day that I do have meetings.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with him on the 16th. I'm the day before you, Tamara. So
Okay.
But Tracy, can you send me that slide, or the like how do I get to where I can start answering those questions that you were when I give my presentation, I'm going to go through it.
Yeah, let me
selling myself.
Yeah, let me make sure let's see, make sure you're on shared. Yeah, so I've shared it with you. You should have gotten an email that said that I have shared this presentation with you. I'll send it to your other
The
one.
invitation oh, there you go, like the invitation to edit open slides. Oh yeah, I got it, Tracy.
Okay, super.
Okay, I'm good. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. And then, yeah,
Okay.
then we'll go over that. Just let me know when you have time this week, and we'll work on getting that intro going, maybe by keeping it short and getting them interested, dangling the carrot before them. You've got some great information. My feeling is our templates that we've been using need a lot of work. As a practitioner, looking at those templates, it's overwhelmingly too much information. And if we can just keep it short and sweet and interesting, I think we'll have a lot more success getting people interested in talking to us. So let's go with that approach, see how it goes, and we'll fine tune it, tweak it. If you get someone and they don't want to meet on the date of Tom that you're riding along, and they want to meet at a different time, try to include me in on that. Just give me an invitation too, so that I can just listen in, like a fly on the wall, and see if there's anything in there I can help you with, or point out anything, or give any suggestions. Again, just trying to, put your best foot forward so that you get a good review when you're with Tom, and then just make it so natural that it's not going to be any big deal. Okay. Well, I think that wraps up the meeting. Everybody's gone but you and me, Jeff. So
No, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate it. So, all right, well, I'm gonna get to it. So, yeah,
Super.
thanks, Tracy. Good luck with everything.
Hey, you're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, good to see you all, and
Okay.
we'll be
All right,
talking
good.
to you later. Okay, have a great week.
Okay.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys. Bye, Trace.
Bye-bye.